Hey everybody, we just lost power and Jill was making a pizza and there's the pizza. Lovely pizza that she was making just as we lost power. So I fired up my Powerboost for the first time to power my house, and as you can see all the lights are on and there's the oven warming up. So the fridge is on, deep freeze is on, a few lights. I did turn off my hot water heater just in case, didn't want that to kick in. And right now, so what a great thing is the app here gives me an update of the power draw. Right now, the oven and all those other appliances looks like it's drawing about 5,000 watts total. So yeah, in case you're wondering, can your Powerboost power your house and also run your oven and your lights and all that stuff? It can. So I just did it, and we're gonna have pizza tonight, courtesy of my F150 Powerboost. But it didn't come without any issues. You're hearing the generator of my neighbor right now because my Ford F-150 is silent. And just to demonstrate that, I'll come next to the truck and you can hear the muffler here. That's it. So I figured I would make this video to give you guys a tip and something I discovered. So as you know, I'm an electrical engineer, so I'll try not to get too technical here, but so what I discovered is when I plugged in, I got a ground fault trip. Alright, so I figured I'd explain a little bit what you'll need to do with your Powerboost to connect it to your house. So your house is basically a 240 volt panel, likely with two 120 volts and a neutral. So the way a GFCI system works is it looks at the current that's going to your load and the neutral coming back, and it's looking for an unbalance between the two. Okay, so if you have less current coming back in your neutral than what went out on your voltage leg, on your hot side, then the circuit assumes that the rest of that current is going through the ground. All right. So in the Powerboost, it's supplying the power. So it's supplying four things. It's supplying your two 120 volts, and then your neutral, and then your ground, because it's creating its own ground. But when you hook it up to your house already has that ground established. So your neutral point is tied to ground. So those 2 points are tied together, and then you have your two hot legs, or your two 120 volt sides of your panel. And GFCI circuit is looking for the difference between your, the 120 volt legs and then the neutral. So it's looking to see how much current goes out and how much comes back on the neutral. But if your neutral is tied to your ground in your which it is at your truck, and it's also tied at your panel, what's happening is those two wires, the neutral and the ground, act like two conductors in parallel. Okay, so now half the current comes back on the ground, half the current comes back on the neutral, and right away your truck will sense that as a ground fault. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to disconnect your ground. Now this is if you haven't followed this so far, get an electrician to do this with you. So this is my 50 amp plug. So this is normally, if I'm running my PTO generator, I can put this 50 amp 240 volt plug, and then the other end is special plug that connects to the GenLink. Okay, so what I did is I just disconnected the ground wire and I taped it up, and so that's it. That's simple. And this is safe because your ground is connected at your panel. So what you're doing is you're just tying the neutral from your truck to the neutral from your panel. Okay, it's already connected to ground, and that neutral is already connected to the ground in your panel. So you're not doing anything. You're not bypassing some safety thing. You have to do this. This is the only way you can connect your Powerboost to your house. Okay, so it's easier to do it in here than obviously in here, because this is kind of hard to get into. And I think this came like that from the factory. So this is a nice big plug, so it's easy to disconnect it. And once you have that ground disconnected, you can reset your truck. It'll allow you to reset the ground fault, and then you can power your house from the Powerboost. And you know, this is by far the fastest way to restore power to your house. I mean, it's literally plug in the twist lock and plug this end at the other end, sit in your truck and turn on the power on the screen. So this is pretty awesome. Right now my truck is just running idle, but right now running the oven is about 3,000 watts, I would say. So it's pretty cool. Tells you on each phase, on the A phase and on the B phase, how much is on each. And then of course the IDA1, if IDA1 gets to 3600, they'll give you a warning, and then it'll trip the circuit, I imagine. So, you know, very little load on there. The truck just shut off to actually, I'm going to turn off my heating system here, so I'm not wasting power on heat while this thing is doing this thing. And then I imagine the generator or the truck will start shortly. But right now it's running my house off the batteries of the trucks there. The truck just started. So depending on what your load is, if you just have lights, the truck will shut off, run off the battery of the hybrid system for a little while, and then it'll start back on, and then start recharging that battery again. So that's the oven. What happens is, you know, the temperature must in the oven must have reached temperature, and it's just shutting on and off the elements in the oven. So there, the truck shut off. Power flow. So I'm basically running off the battery right now. So that's pretty cool. My battery in my truck is powering my house. Neat. And all I can hear is my neighbor's generator. Ford, you have done something awesome with this. Oh, there goes the truck. So there's the engine charging the battery back. So there you have it. I do have another system because we do lose power quite a bit in this area. So I have a basically PTO generator that runs off the BX23. So I use that. I'll just show a little clip here. I used that in the last hurricane, and that's how I powered the house, because I didn't have the correct plug to adapt to the truck at that time. But I think from now on I'll be using the truck because it's much cheaper to burn a little bit of gas here than the diesel, with the price of diesel these days. And the truck, as you can see, it'll just run idle, whereas the tractor is running flat out, so you're consuming way more fuel, I would say, than you're gonna consume gas with the truck. Pizza's ready. You were saying, love?
I don't know what I was saying. It looks good.
This was much easier than
what? This was, I can't say what I just said. I need to be beeped out. But this was much easier than the generator for the tractor. Yeah, the PTO generator's a bit of a pain to get connected.
This is much quicker than connecting, taking the backhoe off the tractor and then
Messing with cables.
Going out,
switching.
grabbing the PTO, hooking up the PTO shaft, then
Hoping the sky doesn't turn bright blue.
hooking up the PTO generator power, and then, you know, so here all I had to do was connect that one cable to my...
It's a sad looking pizza though.
Actually, I'll show you guys what I connect. So yeah, so very simple. This is a 50 amp plug, and I bought an extension, a little jumper cable here that goes to a twist lock. And then on the other end, it's wired into my GenLink system. So the GenLink has a little light here that'll turn on when your utility is on. So right now, I'm powered on the Powerboost. Wow, so this is twice in one week, I guess. I lost power. But today it's minus 22 Celsius outside, so right now my Powerboost is feeding the house again. Last time I ran the Powerboost to power the house, it was fairly warm outside, so we didn't have any issues, and I was able to just shut the heat of the truck off, the climate control in the truck entirely off. So what that did is it put the entire power production of the truck onto the house, and it seemed to make a huge difference in how often the truck was starting and stopping. So we'll see what happens today, but I have a feeling it's yeah, it's already worse. So because it's cold outside. So last time I ran it, I used about 10 kilometers worth of gasoline, and in 2.5 hours. Jill cooked a pizza in the oven with that, and oh, see, it turned off. That's cool. She cooked a pizza in the oven. She what else we do? I boiled some shaga tea. So those are two fairly big loads, and without any issues. So drop me some comments, guys, if you got some questions about this Powerboost. I don't mind answering questions. I try to answer all my comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed these little power outage prep tips. Bye for now.